It could be somebody on my same blood type, and it'll say it was the same type of DNA. It would say Anthony Kenner's DNA if it was my DNA.
Now, so we're not talking blood type, we're talking 360 quadrillion times more chance that it's you than someone else.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is, if you take a DNA sample and to do DNA analysis, if it was my DNA, it'll say 100% match. It wouldn't be a mix up. It could be my DNA. If you take a DNA of yourself right now, and they'll say, okay, it's your DNA. It wouldn't say it could be or it's possibility. Same way my lawyer explained it in trial. That's why I was proven not guilty by 12 jurors.
360 quadrillion, yet a jury did find him not guilty. I just got to tell you, that is the craziest thing to me. His defender, his attorney, should get an Oscar for that. It is, I don't know what else he should get. Maybe a Nobel Peace Prize, because if you can convince a 12-person jury that no, it's not 100%, it's a 300 quadrillion% chance. But listen to this. Here's the crazy thing about it. Even though the jury did find him not guilty of holding that weapon, the parole board, they do not need to abide by those rules. This is a parole revocation hearing, and the contract that somebody signs when they go on parole in Louisiana simply states they will not be involved in criminal activity. Now, you can go to trial. You could be found not guilty, but still revoked by the parole board. So it's going to be up to them to decide whether they want to buy the whole one in how many quadrillion bajillions. But before we watch this parole revocation hearing, we're going to have to find out how it is we got here. So we are going to take a blast to the past to his 2023 parole hearing. So with that, let's jump in.
This is the matter of Anthony Kenner Jr., DOC number 447501. He is a fourth felony offender. He has a parole eligibility date of February the 26th of 2023, an adjusted good time date of February the 23rd of 2024, and a full term date of February the 27th of 2032. He is currently serving a 12-year sentence on the charges of 2 counts of distribution of heroin, obstruction of justice, and intimidating or injuring public records. Okay. Mr. Kenner, is that information fairly accurate?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kenner, your case has been assigned to Ms. Jackson. Please answer any questions she might have.
Good afternoon, Ms. Kenner. How are you?
Okay, how about yourself?
I'm pretty good. Let's talk a little bit about your case. First, how old are you?
39.
Are you almost making 40 soon?
Next month.
And you received a 12-year sentence for 2 counts of distribution of heroin, obstruction of justice, and intimidation of a witness. You got a 15-year sentence. 12 was suspended. All but 3 were they suspended 3. You had to serve 12. And then after the 12, you still have 3 where you'll be on probation and parole. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
You're a fourth offender. You have priors for aggravated battery. That was in 2001. That was revoked in 2004. You had a possession with intent to distribute cocaine in 2008. Again, you got a split sentence on that with a portion you had to serve in jail. Then upon completion of that, you were placed on probation, and that probation was revoked in October of 2010. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Why so much criminal activity, Mr. Kenner?
Going down the wrong path, making the wrong decision.
I know that. I'm saying why.
not cherishing the freedom I had and with my kids, and just making wrong decisions.
How much education do you have?
I have a GED
When did you get a GED?
in 2006.
Yeah, was that during a period of incarceration?
Yeah, I was at Dixon Correctional,
And you got that in what year?
2006.
2006. And you got sentenced again in 2008 on possession with intent to distribute cocaine. So after you got your GED, why didn't you go on after you get out and try to do something different with yourself?
I actually was, but I was fighting a drug addiction at the time.
Well, you know, I hear a lot of people who actually have distribution charges talk about a drug addiction. I think that's kind of a cop out. I really do. Because all of your drug offenses, possession with intent to distribute cocaine, 2 counts of distribution of heroin. You know, with a drug user, you usually see more possession type of charge, not distribution or possession, but intent to distribute. So I think that's just an easy thing to say that you were a drug user, but in reality, you were a drug dealer. So let's be honest today. Okay?
Actually, the
Today,
truth, I
today to
was-
be using what?
I said it's actually the truth. I was a drug user. It's documented that I was taking when I came in jail, I was on a detoxing from heroin.
Okay. And when did you start using heroin?
2017.
Why'd you start using heroin?
I ask myself that every day now, looking at all the people that's dying from fentanyl. I sit there and ask myself that now.
And you're charged with 2 counts of you're serving time for 2 counts of distribution of heroin. And did you ever stop to think I could be killing people by putting this out on the street because people are dying like crazy from fentanyl? Did that thought ever occur to you that you were, you know, causing people to overdose and die?
Be honest with you, no, it never occurred to me because I was just thinking about getting high again, getting money to get high again at the time.
How about a job? How about a job?
I actually had a job for a little while.
What?
My vehicle broke, and that's how I lost that job.
What was the job?
I was working with Brock, doing scaffold work.
Okay. And when was that and how long did you have that job?
I think I had a job about a year and 3 months or something.
What other jobs have you had?
I worked for specialty industry, doing scaffold work and painting. I worked for Turner, sandblasting and painting. I worked on the barges.
I looked at your list of programs, and you haven't had any programs since 2014. Right?
I got a program last year in Callahoola. That's why my the good time of date was adjusted to February and not May.
Let me go back and see, what was the program?
I think it was Thanking for a Change.
Go back, the programs were listed on page 75. Okay. When did you take that program?
Last year in October.
Look again.
I finished the class last year in November.
Okay, I see in 2022, you had understanding and reducing angry feelings.
Yeah, that was it.
And that's not the same thing you just told me. It's understanding and reducing angry feelings. I don't see any substance abuse programming at all. Is there any programming where you are incarcerated?
Yeah, I'm actually in pre-release right now. The 100-hour class that cover all the classes.
How long have you been in pre-release?
A month. It's actually called reentry.
Right, right. Well, you know, you have a good time date of February of next year, and when you take some more programs, they'll probably move up from that date as well. You have a high risk assessment. Is there anyone in the room with Mr. Kenner who can give us some information? Anybody in there with you?
Yes, Cheryl.
So what can you talk about, Mr. Kenner?
I went through the files and he's no trouble at all, no write-ups. There's not really anything. I mean, he attends classes, works, so.
What's his job at the prison?
Busy.
McDonald's. I actually work at McDonald's.
He's
right
working at McDonald's right now.
I got you. I got you. Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Sam.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. We'll now hear from Ms. Chanel Singleton. Ms. Singleton,
Yes, I'm here.
would you introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know?
Yes, hi, my name is Chanel Singleton. I'm the owner of LDB Logistics LLC. It's a transporting company. And I have a job for Mr. Kenner once he's released. I think it would be a great opportunity for him. He would be leaving from around the areas that he was getting in trouble. He would be seeing different states and making money to take care of his family. So he would be a great asset to my company.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Peter, is there anything you'd like to say before the board votes?
I appreciate the opportunity and just hope y'all consider the situation. I don't get in any trouble no more. And I'm just ready to be a man and take care of my family.
Thank you very much. Is the board ready to vote?
Yeah.
Ms. Johnson?
All right, Ms. Kenner, I'm glad that you are starting to get back on the right track. I hope you can continue on that path. But for me, I don't think you're ready yet. I think you're in some programs now, and I think you need to complete all of those programs, so it will help you stay out. A lot of people are anxious to get out, but they have no idea what it takes to stay out. So I think you need to complete the programs that you're in that's going to move up your good time date. You have a poor supervision history, a extensive criminal history, and you have a high risk assessment. And so my vote today would be to deny, encourage you to keep working, but you are going to get out soon.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Ms. Wise?
All right, sir. I hope you understand, what's happening here. I'm denying you because of the proximity of the good time date. When you get through with that class, you'll probably be an immediate release. And if we grant you, it just kind of, it wouldn't be good for you. So my vote is to deny as well. For the reason stated.
Thank you, Ms. Wise. My vote would be likewise the same, Mr. Kenner. You have 3 votes to deny, but you do have a good time release date coming up soon. If you complete that program, it will come up even sooner. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
We'll close out at 2:45 at Southwest. Thank you very much, staff there. We'll be closing.
Okay, and I think this parole board, see, they were onto something. You got to give them credit, right? They had some spidey senses because he ends up getting out on his good time November 2023, and in February of 2024, he is picked up again. He was in a police chase, and they said they found a weapon, but then he takes it to trial, federal trial, and the crazy thing that we're about to see is a jury finds him not guilty. And now what we're going to have is a parole board seeing somebody who's been locked up for 18 months. A jury unanimously found them not guilty of the charge, but are they going to revoke anyways? I mean, to me, that seems absolutely Like, this is fascinating. Like, this is a thing case law being written now, because we've seen where sentences are null cross, where the DA drops the charges, but he's been found not guilty by a jury. So let's buckle up and let's watch history in the making.
Okay, good morning. This is the Committee on Parole. We're meeting in Baton Rouge at headquarters of the Department of Corrections. To my left is Carolyn Stapleton. To my right is Jerry Ledoux, and my name is Steve Prater. The time is 8:38 in the morning. The date is August the 6th of 2025. We'll be having a number of hearings today. This will be our first one. This is a revocation hearing. Would the staff here introduce themselves, please?
Sure.
Okay, and on this revocation hearing, we have a fellow by the name of Anthony Kenner Jr. Are you Mr. Kenner?
Yes, sir.
And what is your DOC number, Mr. Kenner?
447-501.
Okay, and you are at St. Charles Nelson Correctional Center, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And is there any staff in the room with you?
Yes, sir.
Would you introduce yourselves, please?
Lieutenant Ball.
Okay, Lieutenant, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, anybody else in there?
We also have Corporal Stallworth.
Okay. Cool. Thank y'all for hosting us today, and I think this is our only hearing there.
Yes, sir.
And so we'll get straight to it. Mr. Kenner, did you have a waiver? Okay, can you hear me okay? Okay, Mr. Kenner, can you hear?
Yes, sir.
All right, do you have a waiver in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that waiver talks about your attorney and all, and did you sign that waiver?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're going to proceed with your hearing today. You are accused of violating two rules, rule number 4 and rule number 5. Rule number 4 may have been dropped, but they're very similar. Rule number 5 is the one that we're going to deal with this morning mainly. And it has to do with a vehicle chase or a vehicle stop. And you supposedly fleeing from that stop and running behind the house and throwing a gun. Is that correct? Is that what the rule, is that what you're accused of violating?
Yeah, that's what I was accused of violating, yeah.
Okay, so you need to plead guilty or innocent on rule number 5. Then let's start out. You are guilty of having been arrested for that, correct?
Yeah, I'm guilty of being arrested for it.
Okay. Now, are you guilty of having done it?
No, sir. I went to trial in the federal court, and I was proven not guilty by unanimous decision by the jury, which is all 12 said I was not guilty due to the evidence.
Correct. I understand that, and we are not bound by the same rules. We have to determine if we feel like that you're in other circumstances. I won't get into a lot of detail about that. Okay, tell me about that. Tell me about that day if you'd like to, and make a statement, whatever your statement's in, so we can decide, make our decision.
Okay, the same detectives, the same statement that they gave at my hearing,
Right.
the complete opposite from the statement they got on the stand and said, which was a complete opposite from the statement on the police report. They gave several different reports, several different statements. All of them contradicted each other. My lawyer, the jury, all seen it. They all made up different stories, and it was proven in trial that I was innocent.
Okay. All right. I have a question about this. You're not supposed to be around guns. The
I know
gun, a detective, according, and all we have is the reports of what happened.
Okay.
And the fact, we do have the fact that you were found innocent by a federal jury, but the gun that you're supposed to have had, that the detectives with St. Charles Sheriff's Office say in the report that they saw you throw down, and it was behind the house where you ran. Tell me, how did that get your DNA on it. You read the reports, I'm sure, and during the
Yeah.
trial,
It never,
introduced DNA evidence,
yeah,
correct?
it never once said it was my DNA. If you read the report correctly, it never said it was a match of my DNA. It never said that. It's the only thing it said it was a positive match for was a male. It never said it was a match for Anthony Kenner's DNA. It could be somebody on my same blood type or anything to say it was my DNA. My fingerprints wasn't on his gun. And it's also the same detectives who I'm on parole for, the same narcotic agency that don't want me on the streets. I was just released from jail. It's obvious they don't want me on the streets.
Okay, according to what the report says, assuming a mixture of two individuals, the DNA was found on the gun. This mixture obtained is at least 360 quadrillion, which is a big number.
I understand.
Times more likely to be observed if it originated from Anthony Kenner Jr. and one unknown unrelated individual than if from two unknown unrelated individuals.
And
In other words, I mean, how do you explain that's
I
quite
mean,
a
the best way I could explain it, the same way my lawyer explained it. If it was my DNA, it would say it was Anthony Kenner's DNA. That's the purpose of a DNA test. That's the same thing my lawyer explained to the jury. Same thing my lawyer told when I was in trial. If it was Anthony Kenner's DNA, it would say it was Anthony Kenner's DNA. It wouldn't be no mixed up. It could be somebody on my same blood type, and it'll say it was the same type of DNA. It would say Anthony Kenner's DNA if it was my DNA.
No, so we're not talking blood type, we're talking 360 quadrillion times more chance that it's you than someone else.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is, if you take a DNA sample and to do DNA analysis, if it was my DNA, it'll say 100% match. It wouldn't be a mix up. It could be my DNA. If you take a DNA of yourself right now, and they'll say, okay, it's your DNA. It wouldn't say it could be or it's possibility. Same way my lawyer explained it in trial. That's why I was proven not guilty by 12 jurors.
Yes, well, I understand
And
that.
I also been in jail 18 months now with fraud. All the evidence is fraudulent. I've been in jail 18 months with fraudulent evidence. I was proven not guilty on every charge they locked me up for.
Okay. I'm looking, are you reading a letter from the DA by chance? Or the judge that mentions the quadrillion again? 360 quadrillion.
If I'm sure if that evidence was sophisticated or strong enough, I would have got found guilty.
No, that's not
Wouldn't be a question about that if it was my DNA.
what they decide and what we decide, whether you're in proximity, are two different things.
I understand that, sir. I understand that.
Do you have any questions? You have any questions?
I don't.
Okay, you have anything else you want to say about that?
No, I just wanted to say that I've been in here 18 months now. And it's been fraudulent evidence from day one. It's the same narcotic agency that I'm on parole for. The same detectives that I'm on parole for that was involved with this right here. And if the evidence was strong enough to prove that I was guilty, I would have been found guilty. I've been in jail now 18 months with no evidence. That's all I'm saying. If it was my DNA, it'll say it's my DNA. It wouldn't say liability or it could be or it's possible. It'll say it's Anthony Kenner's DNA. That's the whole point of a DNA analysis. Thank you.
Okay, all right, well, I think that, I'm trying to find this letter right quick. If you just give me just a second. I had it marked on here and
So I'll ask a question. Well,
I think I've got it right.
Mr. Kenner, you were paroled in November of 2023, and this happened in February. Did you report?
Yeah.
And did you paid your fees and everything?
Everything I was supposed to do, I done.
Were you employed?
When we was detained, if I was able to bring that to the table, we was coming from filling out application at ADM, Aim Grain Elevator. We was en route from Grain Elevator when we was stopped by the police illegally. That's another thing that happened illegally. They had no proper cause to even stop us.
How many people were with you when you were stopped?
One.
And where's the other person that was involved in this? They never got charged with anything.
No, they got charged with traffic.
Okay, is there anything else that you would like that? Okay, I believe that we're through asking questions. You're through with your statement, so it's time for us to vote. My vote, since I'm the one that was assigned to the case, and it takes 2 out of 3 votes to decide if you're to be revoked or not. But my particular vote, I believe that DNA, when you're talking about that many quadrillion chances of it being yours, I believe the gun was yours. I think you ran back there. I believe that the detective saw you throw it. It wasn't just one, it was 2. The gun was found right there where you ran. My vote is that you be revoked.
Excuse me. The same detectives got on the stand at my trial and said they didn't
Yes,
see me
sir.
throw a
Yes,
gun.
sir. Voting now, so.
Okay,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I concur with Mr. Prater that you should be revoked.
My vote is to do not revoke, to send you to a transitional work program for a period of 6 months. You know, you were not found guilty and you've been in 18 months, so that would be my vote.
Okay, you, as of this morning at 8:49, you had 2 out of 3 decided to revoke you, and so therefore your parole is revoked at 8:49. Thank you.
And the Louisiana Parole Board, Parole Revocation Board, they correct an injustice, which is wild because it's like, I don't even know if I can say that legally, right? He's been found not guilty by a jury of his peers. Would it be defamation for me to say something like that? This is wild. I don't know if this can make case law, because I wonder, has this ever happened before? You know, the idea that look, we see all the time in revocations where charges are dropped, they're null crossed, but to go to trial, federal trial, they went through the expense of a jury trial. They go through the whole thing. His attorney does a Houdini thing. I don't know what he probably did. By hearing the sound of it, is my guess is that there were probably conflicting statements by the troopers that arrested him, and so he probably put them on the stand. They had conflicting statements. The prosecution was probably just solely relying on DNA, because why not? You're holding the royal flush. You can't lose. You're on house money. But the attorney gets this jury to think it's some weird conspiracy, to say there is reasonable doubt. That is like one in gajillion. Like, it's not him. I can't, I'm sorry. But I guess this can be case law. This is something that people should study. A jury found him not guilty. This is more insane than than O.J. Simpson case. I mean, come on. That club doesn't fit. They're like, in this case, it's not certain. I can see his defense attorney now saying it hardly with keeping a straight face. He was probably like, jury, they cannot say without certainty that it is him. As a matter of fact, there is a chance. 1 in a quadrillion. I'm sorry, I have something in my throat. Oh, if the DNA doesn't fit, you must acquit. I get such a kick out of this. This is insane. But the parole board, they're like, nah. No. And you can see the DA wrote a letter. Now, the DA should have shown up. You would think that the DA could take the time to show up. Like they'd be angry the amount of tax dollars they spent on prosecuting this case, and then had the humiliation of a unanimous jury verdict saying innocent, that you would show up to this and make sure you make eye contact and see, I see you. I know you're coming back. You ain't getting away with it, buddy. But now they wrote a letter, and I can't. But now I wonder. I truly wonder if he has some type of strange appeal on this. That will make its way to the Supreme Court. This man knows how to fight for his defense. You see, like in his first arrest, they went in there and he filed an appeal about it, and it was overturned. But he knows how to go through the appeal process, and as you can see here, he wasn't afraid of taking that to trial. Yeah, he probably figured he had nothing to lose. But it was only how quickly. So what happened was is he got out on good time, November 2023. And in February of 2024, that's how long he lasted. A second. He is caught running with a weapon. And again, I think it just goes to show Miss Bonnie Jackson, the whole parole board there, they smelled something was fishy. They didn't buy it. They just didn't. And I didn't buy it either. Him saying that he was hooked up on the magic dragon, I don't think that was true, because in his appeal, what he is initially caught for, they found a lot of narcotics in his apartment, but the magic dragon, the H word, was not one of it. So that doesn't tell you something. If you say you're hooked on that stuff, but they don't find it when they raid you, yeah. I mean, so he's arrested in 2009. He spends a lot of time in prison, gets out in 2023 on good time, and in seconds is picked up. And now I do wonder. I'm sure he's gonna. I don't know what you can do to appeal. This is interesting. I wonder what jurisdiction it would lie in. But you would think that he has, I get the law is the law, but I wonder if this could change it. I wonder if this will change it, because it is interesting being found not guilty, but then the parole board saying, we don't care. Now, no matter how strong of a case they have, it just seems counterintuitive to the American justice system. It does. It's like some form of almost double jeopardy. Like, I know it's not, but it's weird. It's weird. I wonder if this has ever happened before. That's why I was so excited to document it here for all of you. Thank you, Sir Richard and Lady Holly, for pulling up on research. Sir Richard has jumped into the wagon. Lady Holly is going through a lot right now. For those of you who don't know, but she was wounded in action in Afghanistan. She took indirect fire on base. She kept going, but she lost the use of her arm. She does all of this with one hand on a phone. She doesn't even like using a computer, which is crazy, the research she does, right, with all the stuff. But now her hearing is gone, which is interesting, because Sir Richard also has hearing problems and eyesight problems. He's legally blind. So they're this crazy team. They're bionic together. But she's waiting to get her hearing fixed. And Sir Richard has just jumped in. And it's not just that, but her equilibrium's off because of it. But it's incredible. We have the most incredible matchup there, Sir Richard and Lady Holly. And anyways, so I'll keep you posted on anything in this case if it does come up.
Are you aware that we have the video from the store
Yes,
during
ma'am.
Can you help me understand, because we don't have audio, but I see two ladies, one to be you, that came behind the counter of the store where the clerk is standing, and there's a lot of, looks like, animated conversation going on. So what was going on? Can you explain to me what happened that day?
Okay, and we are about to watch a parole revocation hearing out of the state of Louisiana for a woman who had served 5 years in prison for similar type of crimes, and now, while on parole, arrested and accused of stealing. And she is at the risk of her parole getting revoked. And the parole board, they have the footage. Let's see what will happen. In other states like New York or San Francisco, I doubt she'd even be in this situation. But Louisiana, they take these things a bit more seriously. So, with that, let's jump in.
Good morning. We are in Baton Rouge at the Department of Corrections headquarters, and we'll be conducting a parole revocation hearing this morning on Miss Nancy Williams, who is at Ville Platte Detention Center. Miss Williams, is that you I'm looking at? Okay, you're on mute.
I'm on mute. You got it, Ed? Okay, she got.
We can hear you now, and we're at Ville Platte Detention Center. Is there anybody in the staff there in your room with you?
Yes, sir.
Would you introduce yourself, please?
Okay, my name is Miss Nancy Williams.
Okay, would staff introduce yourselves, please?
Hi, my name is Haley Gallo. I'm the
Oh.
jail supervisor.
Okay, all right, and you are Nancy Williams. Miss Williams, what is your DOC number?
281446.
Okay, and do you have a piece of paper where you waived the right for an attorney there, waive for your attorney and all of that business in front of you that you signed?
Yeah, but I don't have none, sir.
You don't have it in front of you? We're gonna show it to you. We're gonna put it to you on the screen.
Oh, okay.
And see if that is indeed your signature, and did you sign that?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, that's what we wanted to know.
Okay. What's
I
that?
got, we got it now. Thank you very much. Okay, we're gonna have two people that will be speaking for you later on. But right now, I want to talk to you a little bit before Ms. Ledoux takes over the questioning. But you're charged with 2 violations while you're on parole. You can't be doing stuff because you sign these rules that you will abide by all these rules. And there's 2 of these rules that your parole officer says that you violated. One is rule number 4, in that you violated the law in that you were arrested for simple robbery and simple assault. How do you plead on that? Did you, first off, did you get arrested? Not if you're guilty or not, but did you get arrested?
A month later, yes, sir, I got arrested.
Okay. Now, did you commit the crimes that you were charged with?
No, sir.
Okay, you didn't commit or plead to anything, weren't found guilty?
Well, they to be honest with you, when I went to court, they did it pass without dated. Pass without dated when I went to court. My lawyer say they did it pass without dated, meaning they didn't give me no charge or nothing. If I do pass without dated for a year, okay. Meaning if I do this year without getting in no trouble, they was gonna drop the charge. And they told me, my lawyer told me I was gonna get released and stuff like that with no parole hold or anything like that, which I didn't know. You understand? Because I thought I was going home that day when they passed it without dated, because he said I was going home that day and they was going to lift my hold. So that's the reason why I took that and ran with it, because I wanted to go home because I had 7 months. I'm already down 7 months for something I didn't do. You understand? Yeah, I was there, sir, but I didn't do anything.
Okay, we'll get further into that, Ms. Ledoux will, in a little bit. And the other rule that you're violating is you hadn't been keeping up with paying for your fees you're responsible to the state of Louisiana for your parole fees. You hadn't paid any of those since you were put on parole, and you owe $8,210. Is that, are you guilty of owing that money?
Yeah, I am guilty of holding that money, sir. When I got out in 2012, I did what I had to do, getting jobs and everything. Okay, then when I stopped paying, that's because of the COVID. And when the COVID hit, they laid me off. I couldn't find any other job. After all this was going on, my health got bad. I had surgery on my legs. I had irregular heartbeat and everything with my heart. So I filed for my disability. I told my parole officer that because he used to come to my house every month. Every month he used to come to my house. Before I got picked up December 11, he came in November, and he was supposed to take my paperwork because I filed for my disability and everything of that nature and
Gotcha.
stuff. I couldn't work no more. My health got bad on me, sir. And I told him all these things. So he was going to take a copy of my disability paper and put that on file.
Okay, all right. So you're saying that you owe the money, but you have not been able to pay the money. So you're actually guilty of that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. But what it was, when I was working, I was paying what I can pay. But when I stopped working during that time, it's nothing I could do. But I am guilty of it, sir.
Okay.
I couldn't
That's
pay no more. So I'm
okay, there's
guilty
two
because I
people.
couldn't pay.
Okay, there's two people that want to say something for you. One
Yes,
is
sir.
Pretty Williams. Is Pretty on the, where's Pretty? Are you on Zoom now?
Yes, sir. That's my daughter.
Okay, Pretty Williams.
Yeah, I'm on here.
Okay, are you, there you go.
Can you
Are
hear
you
me?
pretty? Are you pretty?
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yes, how
Okay,
y'all doing?
tell us what you want to say
Okay.
about your mom.
All right, I'm trying to on the department. I'm trying to find an area where y'all can hear me pretty well.
Okay.
I'm at
Okay,
work.
you gotta be still somewhere because you're killing us. We're getting dizzy.
All right. I'm trying to find an area. I'm at work. I apologize.
Trying to find an area.
Can you hear me now?
We'll come back to you in a minute. What about Nicole? Nicole here? Nicole? Okay.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. And you're a friend of hers, and we'll
Yes.
come back pretty
Yes,
in a few
sir.
minutes. Nicole Jagno, if I'm saying that right.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, you're a friend of Nancy Williams, and you want to say something about in support of her not being revoked. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I know Nancy did a lot of years in jail, and I've known her for the last 10 years. I truly believe that she has done a lot, like to change her life. She stays out of trouble, like she's doing good. I lost my son 2 years ago, and Miss Nancy has been one of my bigger support systems. And, like she keeps me motivated. She keeps me spiritually, like, she prays for me. She's been there. And my son's anniversary of his death is coming up next week. And Nancy's always been there with me since then. So I just really feel like, as far as leading a good life, Nancy definitely does do that. And, I feel like considering where she's been before, she has definitely come a long way.
Okay, thank you for that. Did Pretty ever get situated? Oh,
Yeah, I'm here. Can y'all hear
okay.
me now?
We can hear you and we can see you, and it's not making us dizzy. Tell us what you want to tell us
Okay.
about your mom.
Okay, well, my mom went to prison when I was 8 years old the first time. So we did this 18-year bid with her, back and forth, going visit and everything. I've worked in the prison system 5 years. I've worked at the sheriff department. Now I'm at the Department of Homeland Security. So I've seen both sides, and I can clearly say in the years my mom has been home, it's been a struggle because 18 years, you expect them to be institutionalized, but she was not. She came home, she got a job, but right now she's dealing with medical issues. And you fall. Some people fall, but you get back up. But I can clearly say, for her, redemption that's what it was.
She never went back. She had some hiccups, you know what I mean? But she's never been back. Great mother. She's a great mother, great grandmother, and a great great grandmother, you know. And that's just me. Y'all don't know me personally, but if I didn't feel she needed to be out, I wouldn't have been here. You know, like I said, I've seen both the system. So I know for a fact she made great, great, great strides. She's held down her own home, paying her own bills, but again, she's dealing with medical issues. And to be, you know, a convicted felon, hard to get a job, hard to start over. She's held down her own home. Her probation officer visits. He knows that. You know, family outings, we do that. And we try to keep her motivated because it's hard. I've never been in the system, so I don't know what it's like to be turned down for a job because of your criminal history. But she kept on. She kept striving to do it. She seek the Black believe in being counseling, going to therapy. She seek that because she has a lot that she's dealing with. So just give her a chance. That's what I'm asking y'all. Look at her record. She's been home. She's held down her address, you know. So just give her a chance if y'all can.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. We appreciate your comments. Okay, your case has been assigned to Ms. Ledoux, who is going to continue the questions.
Ms. Williams?
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
aware we have the video from the store. Are you aware that we have the video from the store
Yes,
during
ma'am.
Can you help me understand, because we don't have audio, but I see two ladies, one to be you, that came behind the counter of the store where the clerk is standing, and there's a lot of, looks like, animated conversation going on. So what was going on? Can you explain to me what happened that day?
Well, it was like really a misunderstanding. It wasn't no simple robbery. That it wasn't no simple robbery. Meaning, I'm saying that he said because we touched the door or we went behind. No, that wasn't no simple robbery. She told my daughter that we didn't pay for something in the store. So my daughter came back with the basket and asked her what we didn't pay for. But she was fussing with me more and saying this and that about we stealing and all the above. But I'm showing her, I got the purse in my hand and I had a red book in my hand. I said, ma'am, you can search my purse. I'm not stealing. I don't have anything in my purse. And she kept antagonizing me, and my daughter said, my mama don't have that. So her and my daughter got into a heat of an argument. And that's how the door swung over. That wasn't no simple robbery. It was really and truly, it was a misunderstanding in that store. It was really a misunderstanding. It wasn't no simple robbery, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't no simple robbery.
I mean, it appeared to be a very hostile conversation.
Yeah, a little something like that, ma'am. Yeah, like, you know, a little, they got in a heat of an argument because she telling my daughter she didn't pay for something. My daughter said, I came back in with the basket what I didn't pay for, and they got into a heat of an argument and stuff like that because she kept trying to antagonize me. And my daughter said, my mama ain't got nothing to do with that. Leave my mama alone. So they kept fussing and fussing until it just got into a heat of an argument. And when my daughter touched the door to swing the door open and stuff like that, and but they charged me with a simple robbery. It wasn't no simple robbery, Miss Ledoux. It was really a heat of an argument that she said my daughter didn't pay for something. My daughter came back with a basket and asked her what I didn't pay for.
Okay. Gentlemen, I would like to go into executive session.
A second. Got a motion and a second to go into executive session.
I need to review something in the file.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So we'll be in executive session for just a moment. We're gonna look at some more paperwork and then we'll come back and continue our question.
Okay.
Need a motion. It's 11:09 in the morning. Need a motion to come out of executive session. Motion and a second to come out of executive session. And so there being no one to object, we're out of executive session and back into regular session. As I said before, it's 11:09. Ms. Ledoux, continue questioning.
Ms. Williams. the
Yes,
court-
ma'am.
The court did not decide that you innocent of these charges.
Say that again, ma'am.
The court did not find you innocent of these charges.
Okay.
The court set it aside for a period of 1 year. So it's not the same thing as you not being guilty.
Yes, ma'am.
It's so they could have found you guilty, but they decided to set it aside for a year. Okay. I watched the video. I have reviewed all of the file, and my vote today is to revoke based on your violation of rule number 4.
Okay, we have one vote to revoke your parole. Mr. Tillis?
My vote is to do not revoke.
Okay, we have one vote to do not revoke, and it takes 2 out of 3. So the last vote will be mine, and my vote, I'm going to concur with Ms. Ledoux. I'm going to vote that you be revoked on your parole. That'll be the end of this hearing. It's 11:10.
And they revoked, and I don't know. I mean, she's already been locked up for 7 months, and I get that she didn't pay her dues, and yeah, it adds up real quick, like $8,000 since 2012. But again, this is this ain't Kansas. This is Louisiana, and some of these other states, at least from what I read, not only would you not get locked up, but you'd probably be handed like a trophy or something. But in Louisiana, they're like, no, you're gonna go in jail. And her attorney gave her what sounds like really bad advice, and we see this all the time. We have been seeing it happen for as long as we've been able to gain access to these Louisiana hearings, and that's 5 years. And what I'm talking about is where someone who is on parole allegedly commits a crime, and their attorney tells them, take the deal from the DA and you'll go home. And the advice is so wrong that the attorney never for 1 second even ran a Google search. They have no idea what they're talking about. Just look at the parole contract. You cannot be involved in criminal activity. The language is that vague. So taking any type of deal, when you agree to, you won't charge me if I go a year without, what you are agreeing to at that moment is getting your parole revoked. And we have seen it over and over and over again, and it enrages me. It is like the laziness of these so-called attorneys that don't know anything about what they're talking about, and we have seen it hundreds of times. And we've seen it so often. The parole board brings it up. They say, these attorneys. I remember there's one hearing. These attorneys have to stop saying this. And I don't know, it's beyond me. And it's quite an interesting system. I'll bring, to bring this up now. In other states, they have, like Connecticut. So in Connecticut, the parole revocation process is much more sophisticated than this. Here, really, they just show up. It's like the parole board against, and in Connecticut, they view it differently. Everybody gets an attorney. And not just any attorney. They're impressive. Like, they're passionate about what they do. Like, really, I mean, if you've seen the parole revocation, I have a second channel. It's called Mandoo 2. I know, very original. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Check the playlist, Connecticut revocation hearings. And they get, there's a preliminary process, which you also have in Louisiana, the preliminary, but they don't show it to us. It's more of like, I think more of a, so in Connecticut, you have the preliminary process where you have your attorney, and it's the attorney versus the parole officer. And then you have like the mediator in the parole board that sits there. And so what it is straight off the bat, you have what I think is an unfair matchup. You have an attorney whose only job it is to protect their client versus parole officer that revoked their parolee. That parole officer is probably underpaid, overworked, underappreciated, and didn't go to law school, right? So, and it works like a court case in Connecticut. There's we see in revocations, things will get thrown out if, for example, you had the video footage of her behind the store, but without audio. The attorney would bring it up and say, this is not acceptable. There's no audio. Or they'll say, it's not listed in the exhibit properly dated. And if it's, for example, listed in the exhibit with the wrong date, the mediator, the parole media, it's not even the parole board in Connecticut, will just simply throw it out. We have seen evidence where chomos are downloading CP, but it's not properly documented, and the attorney points it. And who documents it? The parole officer. And the parole officer, again, overworked, underpaid. They're wearing bulletproof vests and guns in Connecticut, probably in most states, if not all states, actually, right? They're chasing around their clients like you know, like people would chase around a bunch of kittens, and and now they're gonna have to get the forms right. And what happens in Connecticut is that because of that process, a lot of people don't get revoked. Or they get revoked, but on minor charges, not the long list of charges. Louisiana, they don't mess around. Now, I hear both sides of the argument. On one side, you can say, look, it's very expensive to lock people up. Do you really want to have somebody? You want to have someone properly represented. Who does it really? It doesn't benefit anybody. It really hurts if she really truly didn't break the law. Now she owed money on her, you know. But come on, like, does it really benefit anyone to put her back in prison? She's already served 7 months. It just doesn't feel, it doesn't feel right. She's been out. An attorney in this case, I think it would have been a pretty good case. An attorney could have had it been there. She's been out since 2012. These are things that I don't know if this is true, but these are things that she's never had a dirty urine. Hasn't gotten arrested. She's held a job for this and this and this. This is what we'll see in Connecticut happen. Yes, she owed her dues, but I mean, it adds up. It's not even $1,000 a year over the course. She paid for this time. She paid for that time. She had a relationship with the parole officer. The parole officer that she had a great relationship with retired. She got a new one. There was COVID. There was this. You talk things out, and then you're saying, look, there is obviously a miscommunication, but she didn't rob anything. She's not, doesn't have an addiction. She doesn't look at who she is. Like, this is, and there are ways that you could have framed it where the parole board would have said, okay, yeah, I hear that. So, we maybe they have details that we don't, but come on, I don't know. And I don't know how much time she's backing and when she'll get out again, but you would think a 7-month sanction. I mean, already being locked up for that long, that's what I understood it. But what do you think? I would love to hear your thoughts. And with that, I'll let you go.
Yeah, a little something like that, ma'am. Yeah, like, a little, they got in a heat of an argument because she telling my daughter she didn't pay for something. My daughter said, I came back in with the basket, what I didn't pay for. And they got into a heat of an argument and stuff like that because she kept trying to antagonize me. And my daughter said, my mama ain't got nothing to do with that. Leave my mama alone. So they kept fussing and fussing until it just got into a heat of an argument. And when my daughter touched the door to swing the door open and stuff like that, but they charged me with a simple robbery. It wasn't no simple robbery, Miss Ledoux. It was really a heat of an argument that she said my daughter didn't pay for something. My daughter came back with a basket and asked her what I didn't pay for.
It could be somebody with my same blood type, and they'll say, it was the same type of DNA. It would say Anthony Kenner's DNA if it was my DNA.
No, so we're not talking blood type, we're talking 360 quadrillion times more chance that it's you than someone else.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is, if you take a DNA sample and to do DNA analysis, if it was my DNA, it'll say 100% match. It wouldn't be a mix up. It could be my DNA. If you take a DNA of yourself right now, and it'll say, okay, it's your DNA. It wouldn't say it could be or it's possibility. Same way my lawyer explained it in trial. That's why I was proven not guilty by 12 jurors.